On the Everton side, Andy Gray at 28 is the oldest and has the widest Wembley experience, although he and the youngest member of the 12, 20-year-old Trevor Stephen at number 7, are the only two who didn't play in the Milk Cup final this year. But Stephen was capped here as a schoolboy, so all the Everton players have sampled Wembley before. By contrast, for Watford, only number 10 Kenny Jackett and number 11 John Barnes in the starting 11 have played here in the past, both for their country. Goalkeeper Steve Sherwood is 30, but 9 of the 12 are 22 or under, with surely the youngest back four that you could possibly imagine. David Bardsley, 19, Steve Terry, 21, Neil Price, the number 3, is 20, and at number 6, the youngest player in the cup final, 18-year-old Lee Sinnott, who joined Watford from Walsall only last September. And Taylor with John Ward to the left of the picture, Billy Hales to the right. So all is prepared, and Watford in the yellow shirts and red shorts start the 1984 FA Cup final, playing from left to right, just 6 years after coming out of the 4th division. Mountfield was close to Riley there from the start. Now, can Watford get their wingers into the match? That could prove a vital factor. Lee Sinnott's got a very long throw, the number 6, and he'll be aiming possibly for Riley's head there. Johnston is closing, Barnes is up at the far post, and Southall forced to make a save in the opening minute. From John Barnes' header. Little touch by Gray, found Heath. They've got Trevor Stephen out on the right wing, number 7. Taking on Price, gets his cross in, and Sharp was there. Good wing play by Everton, and Trevor Stephen. Remember, 3 of the wide men are not playing, Sheedy, Curran and Irvine all injured, but Sharp's header from Stephen's cross. And Heath again. And Richardson. He's normally a good finisher. That wasn't the best of angles by any standards, but Richardson has scored a couple of very good goals in recent league matches that I've seen, and there he went for the near post area, perhaps just sensing a gap between Sherwood and the post, and the ball caught the outside. There's Taylor, and then Bardsley. Ratcliffe clears. Sharp's header. That was Stephen winning against Price and releasing Heath. Andy Gray is in the centre. Peter Reed's up on the right. It's still Adrian Heath. And it came off Price for a corner. Heath tried to chip, and Neil Price got a foot in the way. So a corner to Everton, for which Mountfield and Sharp are on the near post. Here comes Gary Stevens. Oh. Well, that was a tester too for Steve Sherwood. Wonder if Stevens meant that as a cross. It turned out to be a very useful shot. There's Taylor. Barnes is trying to stay onside on the far wing. He's come inside for it, and he's got into a good position here. John Barnes for Watford. Good save by Southall. Les Taylor. Stevens and his defence caught out by a crossfield ball, which really bisected the Everton defence. John Barnes came in from the wing. Watch the goalkeeper first of all, because as Barnes made room, Southall saved, or the defender in front of him in fact blocked it, Mountfield, and Les Taylor drove narrowly wide. Had Stephen playing outside right, and Kevin Richardson often pulling away to the left-hand touchline. There is Stephen, in fact, away from Price. Into Reed, good advantage played by John Hunting. And Reed comes through for Everton. Well, Peter Reid, a battler to start with in the middle of the field. He's always been that, a competitive edge to his play, but when he saw the chance to go through on his own, he took it. Now Callahan. Barnes is waiting for a possible through pass, so is Johnston, and they're offside. Linesman Alan Saunders from Newcastle upon Tyne, who is a Football League referee. Gray's header to Stephen. And Stephen's cross. It was too long for Andy Gray. Johnston's flick. Riley. And Johnston's gone through the centre, and he's onside. Mo Johnston is through for Watford, and Southall saves the first effort, and Bailey gets the ball away. It's been a memorable season for the two players involved there. Certainly for Mo Johnston, who's scored so many goals and threatened so many defences, but also for Neville Southall, who made the save. It was a close offside decision, I would think, to start with, but Johnston had Bailey on his heels and Southall coming out. What a good opening that was for Watford. Here's Taylor. Charging through from midfield. A brilliant run by Les Taylor. And his second shot to shave that goalpost. The Watford fans enjoying what they've been used to this season from Les Taylor. He thrusts his way forward from midfield. He's prepared to go all the way. Captain for the day, showing a good sense of leadership there when he saw an opening in front of him. I think it's fair to say that in the first half, Watford have made the cleaner openings. But it's such a good match to watch, and here's Peter Reid handing over to Andy Gray. Richardson. And here he is again. And the cross headed half away. And Stephen Sharp! And a goal for Everton by Graham Sharp! Everton in front after 38 minutes. And Graham Sharp, who wouldn't have played in this final possibly, other players been fit, is the scorer. Stevens got it through first of all. Sharp turned and drove it low inside the post with Sherwood still standing. Graham Sharp, who has run into a rich vein of form these last 2 or 3 weeks. Strikes for Everton, if anything, slightly against the run of play. Graham Sharp, 3 goals in 3 games before today, keeps up the average. Johnston, Barnes is coming in on the far side, and good jumping by Gary Stevens. An instant shot by Sharp, and it took Sherwood by surprise. So the Mersey sound rings around Wembley as the Everton supporters celebrate the opening goal 7 minutes before half-time. But are Everton vulnerable just after they've scored? 4 men spread along the goal line by Watford as Callahan takes the corner. And the header out is by Andy Gray. Callahan again. Jimmy Hill.
Well, Graham Sharp has been criticised for his goal per game ratio, and it's one of the reasons I think why in the past Everton has found it difficult to score goals prolifically. But in other ways he's a complete player. He's quick, nimble, leads the line well, can lay the ball about, got a bit of pace and can cross well. But the one fault has been that little bit of nervousness in finishing. He seems to be conquering it lately, and he'll become a very good player indeed if that's the case. Splendid goal, luck favoured him because it flicked in off the post.
Also, I think, Jimmy, a very good piece of measured build-up down the left-hand side between Kevin Richardson and Peter Reid, which was nice orderly football which preceded the goal. John Bailey takes the free kick for Everton. Andy Gray's flick, here's Adrian Heath, couldn't get the volley, Les Taylor could. And now Jacket forward only as far as Reid. Heath, Everton are on a high. Trevor Steven. Into the body of Price. Steven again. Gets his cross in this time. Andy Gray heads it back, Terry heads it out. Richardson! Again, Trevor Steven giving the young left-back problems. The cross was good. Andy Gray, he thrives on that sort of service, heading it back. And when the ball was knocked out by Steve Terry from Sharp, in came Richardson with a drive well over the bar. Everton, whose form has been so good leading up to the FA Cup final, they've kept it going in the league. They finished with 3 successive wins, Everton, and they've finished this first half with a 1-goal lead. Thanks to 23-year-old Graham Sharp, of whom Howard Kendall said to me earlier in the week, he doesn't score tap-ins, but he scores unexpected goals. And the Everton manager will be very pleased with that one, coming exactly when it did. So John Hunting gets the second half started. Watford now playing from the right. Here's Les Taylor. Richardson. There's Callahan. And it's Riley. Taylor. And again, Barnes, the Watford player, further forward. But the fullback knows that he has to follow this man. That's Gray's flick. Callahan didn't see much of the ball in the first half. And that pass came off Mountfield to Riley, who gets the ball in, and it's going to run on to Kenny Jacket. And the chip in, and Southall did brilliantly. Kenny Jacket's cross. Southall's had an outstanding season. Riley caused danger on the right. Barnes couldn't make the cross, but Jacket could. He returned the ball, and with Barnes hovering, Southall stretched to make a splendid save. First one hand, then the other. Flag's up on my side of the field. Referee hasn't seen it, but he has acknowledged it now. So Jacket and Riley both involved in that Watford build-up. Here's Sharp. Heath across to Steven. Stevens coming down the right.
Well, there's one that went wrong. He's had a pretty good game up to now. A superb piece of goalkeeping. Neville Southall stretching full length with his right hand and making it a superb save at the second attempt.
That's Riley's flick, and Johnston was waiting behind Mountfield, who's been solid. Here's Reid. Steven. Flags up, the ball was out. Stephen again. Gray and Sharp waiting in the centre. And Gray is closing in here. Oh, and Sherwood didn't collect, and the goal is given. The challenge of Gray, too much for the goalkeeper. And Everton are 2-0 in the lead. And Sherwood disappointed. Gray and Everton ecstatic as Trevor Stephen crossed the ball from the right. Andy Gray comes in, marked by Steve Terry, but he beats him and Sherwood, and the ball is in the net. And Merseyside, the Evertonians, are celebrating their second goal. Good right-wing play again by Trevor Stephen. What a fine match he's having. And Andy Gray just comes in, and the two of them take a tumble. And at the other end, Taylor puts the ball through for Watford, who find themselves 2 goals down after 52 minutes. And here's Sharp. Stephen again. He's teasing this lad Price, and he's beating him. And forcing a corner off him this time. Sherwood not the first goalkeeper to be bombarded by Andy Gray, and that's been Gray's trademark down the years. He goes in where it hurts, where there are people competing in difficult areas, and often it's paid off for him, certainly today. Corner to Everton. Reid. Barnes challenging. Kept the ball in. Richardson. And Jacket volleying it forward. And a foul by George Riley on John Bailey, but the way Bailey reacted, symptomatic of the sportsmanship in this match. Howard Kendall's team, 2 goals to the good, and surely now, with one hand you'd think on the cup, but don't forget, strange things happen in cup finals. Back in the 60s, Everton were actually 2 down to Sheffield Wednesday and came back to win 3-2, and the Watford chairman will be hoping the same happens again here, the other way round. And here is Gray again. Price's header out. Now, will Watford change their tactics and bring on Paul Atkinson? I know there was a feeling one of the reasons he was made sub was because they can change their formation, switch 1 or 2 players around. They're 2 goals behind, and knowing Graham Taylor's thoughts on that, it's a consideration which is obviously in their minds at this moment. Just wonder whether the reorganisation might involve Neil Price, who's having a torrid time at left-back. Any moment now. Paul Atkinson's previous Wembley experience, merely a 6-a-side tournament before the Charity Shield with Oldham some 6 years ago. But this is the real thing for him now. The man coming off is Neil Price, the 20-year-old left-back, who played because Rostron was suspended. And Paul Atkinson, who joined Watford from Oldham and then promptly broke his ankle before the start of the season proper, is on the pitch. And Kenny Jackett to left-back is surely the change, with Atkinson playing on the left side of midfield. There's Kenny Jackett, who's a versatile player. John Bailey. Well, a Watford goal could put a completely different complexion on the match, but it would be against the run of play if it comes. Riley is in there. Bailey is the defender on the ball. And Graham Sharp, a good challenge, and Reid is thundering forward from midfield. He broke clear of Les Taylor. There are 2 others after him, including Kenny Jackett, who got a foot in. It's a good thing he did, because that was an inspirational run by Peter Reid. Good examples in this match, both from Reid and from Les Taylor earlier, of midfield players coming through ahead of the strikers. Header by Ratcliffe. The flag was up for an offside. A warm, pleasant afternoon at Wembley. Fine conditions in which to watch or play. Here's Taylor, and now Barnes. Callahan trying to sort something out here. Offside, won't count. Mo Johnston put the ball in the net, no goal. Nigel Callahan won the ball from a couple of Everton players and chipped his little cross in there, but the flag was up as Mo Johnston finished it off. The new LP, shortly to be released by Elton John, is called Broken Hearts. And there might be one or two of those around Watford tonight. They trail 2-0, and Graham Taylor must know, barring a miracle, the game is up now. Short of Everton collapsing completely, the FA Cup is on its way to Merseyside to join the Milk Cup and the League Championship trophy and the FA Youth Cup, which Everton have also won. So stand by for a huge celebration, bedecked in blue and white, which is already starting on the terraces. Reid. Well, how long Evertonians have waited to hear this sound. So close, just over a minute separating Howard Kendall and Everton from the FA Cup. And the challenge of the young pretenders from Watford has on this occasion been put very firmly in its place. Jacket with the throw. Atkinson. Stevens watching him closely. Callahan. Flags up, offside. And this long, agonising wait for Evertonians everywhere is almost over. After all those years in the shadow of Liverpool, they are seconds away from a major football honour. And the sporting Watford fans are acknowledging that, as well as the performance of their own team. Andy Gray's signing turned Everton's season, and his goal clinched the FA Cup. Their first trophy for 14 years. Graham Sharp, scorer of the first goal. Everton worthy winners of the FA Cup in 1984. Howard Kendall, who lived through such tortuous times, especially early this season, sees his season and his team's season end in triumph. Graham Taylor, who will conduct himself, I'm sure, with his usual dignity. And who knows, he and Watford may well be back. But he knows too that on the day they were beaten by a better side. And I'm sure the Watford chairman would endorse that. They've come a very long way, and there'll be no disgrace for them in losing in the final. Up the stairs they go, and Kevin Ratcliffe, the youngest FA Cup winning captain for 20 years, since Bobby Moore received the cup for West Ham back in '64. He's only 23. He goes forward to receive the FA Cup on behalf of Everton Football Club. A memorable moment for Evertonians everywhere. Their first major trophy for 14 years.